The idea is we encourage all the time helmets and pads, and we cannot enforce that, but it's posted in several locations that you're here to skate at your own risk. Welcome to the Mike McPherson Memorial Skate Park in Calais, Maine.
Stay tuned for Street Beat, Classic Hits public affairs and information program. Views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of Classic Hits Radio's management or staff.
And good morning, it's Lupe, Classic Hits, 92.7 and 95.3. And joining us on the Street Beat is Randy and Spencer McCormick, along with Justin and Gracie Colpitz. And we're talking about the Brendan Letty Scholarship Fund and the Calais Skate Park. Tell us a little bit about Brendan Letty.
Brendan Letty was a phenomenal skater who grew up in Perry, Maine. Everyone who was at the park looked up to Brendan. He had the most skill out of all of us. He helped drive the design of the ramps because if he could skate them and he had the vision of going bigger than most of us, then we knew we were in the right place for adding this new ramp to the park. Brendan was sponsored by a couple teams. He had competed in multiple national competitions as an amateur and was well known and touched a lot of skaters' lives throughout his whole career.
Hey, he's an athlete. Skateboarders are athletes. There's no question about it. For them to pull off the moves that they pull off, it's really pretty fantastic. So Brendan was very persistent, like other skateboarders. I've never seen it before, where they just practice and practice and practice until they get it. And then they're also super supportive of one another. So when they finally do hit the trick, then it's there for them, and everybody's banging their skateboards. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
What influence did Brendan Letty have on the park and the local skaters?
Brendan brought the energy. He made everybody perform to their limits, I guess. So Brendan was around, we'd push and try new things. We'd jump off of higher things. We'd go faster. It was just a different atmosphere when Brendan was around.
He was an inspiration to the younger kids. I mean, that's probably the simplest way to say it. And some of the ramps that he had designed were very challenging for younger kids. But again, that's just inspired them to try to do better and better. So yeah, he had a big influence on the park.
How did Brendan Letty's passing influence the old school members of the Calais Skate Park?
Hit us hard. It was very hard news to process, and it's been turned into energy for us now. So that our core crew, going all the way back to our founding father, Justin Colpitz, whose daughter is now in high school, is part of our team now, and we've resurrected the original committee. There's also others that have jumped on since the beginning, since the onset of our committee, but there's renewed energy to honor Brendan's memory through the scholarship, as well as to be able to enhance the park in his honor as well. So we have a lot of initiatives underway other than the scholarship to bring some more life and energy to the park.
You know, we were all hit pretty hard. Like I was saying before, when Brendan was around, he'd bring the energy, and now we know that that's not possible anymore. So we're trying to harness that energy that he would put in and push into bigger and better things for the park and for the community.
How and why was the Brendan Letty Scholarship started?
Well, that was just us calling one another and saying, what can we do about this? And since then, we've met twice a week for, a month and a half now, maybe, and just knocking our heads together. And the original crew, we used to call my boys and my girls, are now, my peers and my friends, and they are very smart, very savvy about the internet, and they've pushed out this application online completely through Facebook and Instagram, and the applications can be submitted online. And just through that conversation, we came up with the idea to send a student to a Washington County skater to the Woodward camp in Pennsylvania, which I could tell you a little bit about that. That's I refer to it as the premier extreme sports camp training facility in the country. And it's out in the farmlands, Amish farmlands of Pennsylvania, and it hosts not just skaters, but scooters, BMX bike riders both inside and outside, dirt tracks outside. And there's buildings for foam pits and ramps inside for the skaters, but it's also an Olympic gymnastics training facility. And the campers that go there have access to horseback riding and canoeing and a swimming pool and a ropes course and what am I forgetting, Spence?
Well, it has a paintball course,
paintball.
go-karts. You know, it really is the premier training facility for any action sports athlete. It drives progression. You practice tricks into a foam pit, and you practice them on a resi ramp, which is kind of squishy but hard surface, so you can ride away. But if you bail, it's not going to hurt so hard, and then you progress to wooden or concrete ramps after that. And Brenda and Letty went to that camp many times as a kid, and they liked him so much. He was actually an ambassador for them and would stay for longer periods of time than a regular camper would on the campus, and then go out and support Woodward and other competitions and stuff. So,
what kind of qualifications are you looking for in a scholarship recipient?
So, a Washington County resident, ages 12 to 17 years old, skateboarder who wants to give back to their community and help drive skating in their respected town or city.
Submit a couple letters of recommendation and a short video of their skills and a little bit of verbiage about why they think they deserve the award. So we're really looking forward to getting their applications. That's going to be one of the funnest parts here. Making the selection is going to be a little more complicated and a little more challenging, but we're really looking forward to getting a slew of applicants.
On our Calais Facebook group, we have a link to our website where there's a button right at the top. Click apply. There's a Google form application. You fill that out, and there's a section to add in a link for your video submission. There's also a letter of recommendation that will be submitted along with the application.
We'd like to welcome Justin Colpitz and his daughter Gracie. Justin was the original inspiration for the whole concept of the skate park back in 1999. And his daughter is now an up-and-coming skater. She's a high school student here in Calais, and we're tickled to have them here for sure, you know. So the generational thing, I don't know how we can describe how that works, but Justin was a student of mine back at Calais High School. He became an instructor at the college for a year, and therefore became my colleague. And certainly he's my friend now, and we're tickled to have Gracie jumping on board with us with our skate park meetings and working with this whole plan that we're involved in right now.
Yep.
Justin, can you recall a favorite moment or event involving the Calais skate park?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, we go back a long time, but I remember when we took, or I should say, we had the city council meeting at the Calais High School for our first presentation to bring the project forward to the community. We took the city council, took them to the high school, and brought them to our home court, and presented our presentation to them. We ended up going ahead and building the skate park.
I recall that too. That was real exciting. We left the meeting and the kids went in the gym and they're chest bumping and they were so excited.
Yeah.
And we should mention as well that the park is dedicated to the memory of Michael McPherson. We have a plaque out in front there.
Yes.
He was on the city council at the time. He was very ill at the time of our meeting, and he was instrumental in putting the option forward to the city council, and finally got the confirmation, and he passed shortly after that. So we have a debt of gratitude to Mike McPherson as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think another memory it would be when we got these ramps dropped off and delivered. We had quite the I guess you just want to say help from was it Bob Mulholland?
Bob Mulholland,
Yep.
Austin Ginn.
Yeah, they went down to
Virginia
to a company called Ramp Tech, and they picked up most of these pre-built ramps that you see out there, and they brought them back for us and dropped them off. And then we were able to start setting them up and making, our bits and pieces come together, and that was another real memorable.
Well, it was also memorable in the comparison to the way the basketball teams if they win a gold ball or even lose a gold ball game, they get met at the end of the airline with a caravan of cars and whatever. And we went and did that and met the tractor trailer out then and beeped in people who had no idea what we were all about, but we did, and that was a very exciting day. Absolutely, yeah. Gracie, what's it like knowing that your father was involved right from the outset here and was kind of his inspiration right from the beginning?
I think that's pretty cool. So if he didn't, I probably wouldn't skateboard now.
Well, there's so many special moments here. A lot of times just being able to be here under the lights at night and, we've been skating all day, trying to land these new tricks. People keep pushing each other, walk over to McDonald's or IGA and refuel and then come right back. And just the camaraderie that this park brings and fosters. That's what it's been lacking recently, and we're here to bring it back, and we have some new projects in the way. A couple projects just in the very, very beginning stages, but we want to have some sort of dedicated memorial piece at the park, whether that's a skatable or rideable ramp, or it could be addition onto the side of the skate building or something in memory of our fallen Calais Skate Park Committee members. Unfortunately, Brendan isn't the first, but we want to help support anybody who's in a struggling time, and we'll be able to show it here with this next project.
And we are dedicating 10% of our funds raised to support local suicide prevention and drug counseling and local veteran services as well. Brendan was an Air Force veteran. So I have a memory about, I have a photograph, I don't know if there's one kicking around here, maybe it's in this thing right here, of Spencer sitting in the bulldozer with Mark Magoon working for the city of Calais when we were just pushing dirt around. I think we had him pegged at like 7 or 8 years old. So what's it like having your father be have a little hand in this park?
More than a little hand, but big driving force. Motivation to keep it going. I mean, there's countless of hours throughout 20 years now to bring this park to where it is now, and so I want to help continue that legacy on for another 20. Skateboarding, there's a lot of bad rep typically, but Jerry Seinfeld said it recently. Those skateboard kids, I like those guys. They keep falling, they keep getting up just to learn one trick. It takes a lot of perseverance, a lot of grit, a lot of hard work, and the only person pushing you is you. It really builds character no matter what rep anybody else thinks. So
one of the reasons I thought it was a good idea initially was because first of all, every kid around has a bike. And you don't need anybody. You don't need a team to ride a bike, and you don't need a team to go run your skateboard out there. So it can be a very personal thing for yourself, and getting a hold of a skateboard certainly is as easy as getting a bike, maybe even cheaper than getting a bicycle. So that was one of the concepts, as well as helping my students understand that they have value. They're just kids, and like Spencer said, skateboarders are a bad rap and whatever, but guess what? They designed all these ramps. They came together and built all these ramps. This isn't about me. This is about them and the heart that they put into this.
Some of us just didn't feel like we really fit in on team sports either, you got this other sport that you can do, and you can progress at your own pace and do what you want. If something looks fun or interesting, then you can work on that. It's based on what you want to do. It's not what somebody else is telling you to do. And my friends and I, when we got this thing up and rolling, that's how we rolled. We wanted to do our own thing, skate at our own pace, and just progress at our own pace. So that was another driving factor too.
You take a look at these pictures up here. I mean, that's the kind of crew that we had early on. We had, we called a meeting and we had 20, 25, 30 students there, and very impressive. So yeah, it's been quite a project, and we've had a whole litany of presentations we've done and fundraisers we've done. The haunted house was a huge deal at the Walmart, and we raised money for the Children's Miracle Network and the Calais Skate Park, and we performed I don't know, 2 or 3 nights there, and it was huge. That was a really big deal. These guys and girls, a lot of the young ladies participated too. Don't let that get forgotten in this story here as well. We had lots of young ladies that just found a niche. Everybody had a job. They got their shirts and they got their job written on the back, and office technicians and construction technicians, and that sense of ownership, and we had our brand going on. So it's been it just warms my heart now, to be honest with you, to be able to continue on and working with these young adults that are adults.
Yeah. Yeah. And the park too, when we first designed it, we wanted it to be able to grow. We wanted it to grow and progress, and that's why we went with the style ramps we got. We didn't go all concrete and that's it, that's all you got. You can't move nothing, you can't design anything else. So we designed it to be modular, where you can move these ramps if you have to, or redesign them, or put something else in, make room for something else. So that's why we got the style park we got today. And we've had a lot more ramps here in the past. Some of them made it and some of them didn't, and they take a beating, and it costs money to keep up with these things and replace ramps.
We can't say this has been a perfect project. For the number of years we've been involved, we've dealt with vandalism and bad rap. We had a rough time at one point with a misunderstanding of whether it's the skate park kids that are actually causing the issues, or whether it's the kids that are hanging around the skate park that they don't have anything to do with the committee. They don't skateboard, but it's a hangout for teens. So we've had to address those over the years. But guess what? 22 years and we're still here.
Spencer, can you tell us a little bit more about what's coming up for the Calais skate park?
Yeah. Project we're working on is setting up this event this summer. It'll be called the Skate for Life event, where we'll host a competition. We'll also bring in local organizations that help promote suicide awareness, mental health issues, drug addiction and recovery. So we'll have people here available to have conversations with people who are curious of where to get resources, or who do I need to call if either myself or my friends or my family are having some trouble. And so that'll be a big event. We'll announce the date when we've nailed it down. But yeah, we think this is going to be a good memorial event that we wish to continue for years to come.
It is based on a historical event that we held. I don't even know what year that was, but it was called Skate Against Drugs. And we had bands and food and similar booths set up for local organizations to be able to present their information. So that's what we're looking forward to again, and hopefully that'll help bring awareness around and be a nice respectful honorarium for a couple of guys that we've lost from the Calais Skate Park Committee over the years.
On the Street Beat, that was Randy and Spencer McCormick, along with Justin and Gracie Kopitz, for the Brenda and Letty Scholarship Fund and the Calais Skate Park. This is Lupe. You're listening to Classic Hits 92.7, 95.3.
This has been Street Beat, Classic Hits public affairs and information program. Views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of Classic Hits Radio's management or staff.